Martin looking. Here's Clark. She fires and goes!
Whenever Caitlyn Clark and Diana Taurasi face off, basketball fans know they are in for a real showdown. It is always a battle of the best, and anything can happen. In this video, we are diving into what happens when Clark and Taurasi meet on the court and the impact it has had on women's basketball. But first, make sure you hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Got it? Awesome. Now buckle up because we're jumping right in. 1. Caitlyn Clark. Ever since Caitlyn Clark stepped onto the scene, the world of women's basketball has not been the same. People often say she arrived just when the WNBA needed her most, breathing new life into the league. Playing for the Indiana Fever, Clark has built a reputation for her incredible skills, proving herself time and time again against every opponent.
And scoring quickly. Here's Clark. Working around Fletcher.
But it is not just her stats that make fans love her. Clark has made huge contributions to the game itself. She has helped boost the WNBA's popularity, leading to higher earnings for female players. She even pushed for a game-changing shift from commercial flights to private charters for players. If you are a fan of women's basketball and looking for a jersey, chances are you're after the number 22, Clark's number. It just goes to show the joy and excitement she brings to the game every time she steps on the court. 2. Diana Taurasi. In women's basketball, there are some players you might not notice if they stopped playing, but Diana Taurasi is definitely not one of them. Since Taurasi started her professional basketball career in 2004 with the Phoenix Mercury, she has been making waves. She's racked up an impressive list of accolades, including a medal at every Olympic Games since 2004, a streak she kept going with the recent Paris 2024 Olympics.
Oh, Taurasi with a little razzle-dazzle gets it into Candace Dupree.
But Taurasi's dominance is not just limited to the Olympics. She is a standout in other international competitions too, proving time and again that her excellence with the Mercury translates to the global stage. Her outstanding career even earned her the nickname White Mamba, a title given to her by the late, great Kobe Bryant, after witnessing her unbelievable performance.
Came off just at the right time.
Cash and Taurasi matched up at both ends with 4 and 1.
Win and lose, live and...
For Kobe Bryant to give her such high praise speaks volumes. Taurasi is the real deal, and anyone going up against her needs to be ready for a battle. Knowing this, Clark surely prepared herself for a showdown on the court. 3. Fever versus Mercury. Reports say tension was high as the Fever versus Mercury matchup got closer. The excitement was building between the fans of both teams, especially since this game was right after the league's Olympic break. It was clear that Taurasi was the crowd favorite that day. A big reason for that? She had just been a key part of Team USA, helping them clinch gold at the 2024 Paris Olympics. Meanwhile, Clark was not selected for the Olympic team, which had some fans thinking she was coming into this game determined to bring down the Olympic champion's ego. Taurasi, on the other hand, probably walked onto the court with a bit of swagger, fresh off her gold medal win and ready to prove to Clark who the real boss was. With all this buzz in the air, predicting the winner was nearly impossible. Anything could happen in this game. For the Indiana Fever, making it to the playoffs is the ultimate goal, so this game was critical. A win would be huge, but a loss could be devastating. Right from the start, Clark wasted no time and immediately showed the crowd why her name keeps coming up in conversations about greatest female basketball players. As the first quarter unfolded, Clark put on an impressive performance, practically carrying her team with her sharp passes and a few sweet shots sinking through the hoop. The matchup felt like Clark, a rookie sensation, going head-to-head against a living legend like Taurasi and her Phoenix Mercury team. You could practically feel the tension in the air. With the Rookie of the Year title on the line and Angela Reese from the Chicago Sky as her main rival, Clark knew she had to bring her A-game. Every shot, every pass, every point scored could make the difference between winning the award and coming up short. The pressure was on, and Clark was determined to leave nothing on the court. 4. First and second quarter. As soon as the first quarter began, it felt like the Indiana Fever had more than 20 players on the court. They were everywhere, dominating every inch of the game. Clark alone racked up an astonishing 16 points in the first quarter, setting the tone early on. Phoenix Mercury fans looked stunned, like they were watching ghosts out there, helpless against the Fever's relentless offense. Maybe they'd expected Taurasi, fresh off her Olympic win, to easily lead them to victory. But reality was proving to be very different.
Here is Clark off the screen, launches, and drops a triple. as Copper knocks down her second shot.
Just when it seemed like the Mercury might regain some control, Clark teamed up with Kelsey Mitchell, and the effect was electric. The two of them sliced through Mercury's defense like it was nothing, pushing the Fever's lead even further. By halftime, the Fever were up by a whopping 28 points. As things heated up, Taurasi's teammates turned to her, looking for answers, but even the legendary White Mamba seemed to struggle against the relentless force that was Clark. There is a new star on the rise, and her name is Clark. Despite the Fever's dominance, both teams knew the game was far from over. Basketball is a game of twists and turns, and anything can happen. It was a reminder to never get complacent or overconfident, even when a win seems within reach. 5. Third quarter. While Fever fans were hoping for total domination and a flawless victory, the game took a surprising turn. As the third quarter kicked off, it was like the Phoenix Mercury had discovered some kind of magic. They sliced through the Fever's defense, which had seemed rock solid until now, as if it was not even there. The defensive walls that had held strong for so long suddenly crumbled, allowing the Mercury's shooters to find their rhythm. With every successful shot, the Mercury began chipping away at the Fever's once commanding lead, point by point.
Mitchell from the heavens provided Indiana.
Like you would expect from a team feeling the heat, the Fever players started getting a bit scrappy as soon as the Mercury turned up the intensity. A scuffle broke out between the two teams, a result of the frustration boiling over for the Fever, who thought they had the game in the bag until the Mercury came storming back in the third quarter, bursting their bubble. With tensions running high and the game on a knife's edge, it was obvious to everyone in the arena that the fourth quarter would decide it all. 6. Fourth quarter. Just when it seemed like all hope was lost for the Fever and a defeat was on the horizon, out of nowhere, Clark and Mitchell stepped up to save the day. It was like they'd been waiting for this exact moment to show the world what they were truly made of. Leading the charge on offense, Clark and Mitchell became an unstoppable duo. The Mercury tried everything to shut them down, but they just couldn't keep up. Whenever they double-teamed Clark, Mitchell had the ball, and whenever they tried to guard Mitchell, Clark took over. It was a perfect back and forth, and the hoop just kept vibrating from shot after shot going in.
Just settle things down here for the moment. She gets the step on Cunningham. Clark gets to the rim.
With this unstoppable partnership, the Fever pulled off a thrilling victory, winning 98-89 over the Mercury. 7. Aftermath. With their hard-fought victory, the Fever knew they were one step closer to the ultimate goal, the coveted playoffs. They could almost taste it now, just a few games away, and the excitement was electric. The team felt the momentum building and knew the playoffs were finally within reach. Even with the Fever's hard-fought victory, Clark definitely deserves a special shout-out. At times, it felt like she was single-handedly carrying her team, juggling multiple roles and making big plays. As a rookie, she's been incredibly impressive, and fans are already buzzing about how she is going to keep surprising us in the future. Her standout performance against the mighty Mercury has also solidified her case for Rookie of the Year. Clark racked up an impressive 29 points, 10 assists, and 5 rebounds in that game, proving why she is a top contender for the award.
Fever take that shot clock violation. Now it's just 6 seconds to go. Taurasi will dribble it away. For the first time in franchise history, Fever have beaten the Mercury for 3 times in the regular season.
Clark's victory and impressive stats are hard to ignore, especially when you compare them to her main competition for Rookie of the Year, Angela Reese. While Reese's Chicago Sky faced a loss against the Phoenix Mercury, Clark's Fever dominated the Mercury with a score of 98-89. Beyond this standout game, Clark is averaging 20 points per game, which is pretty amazing for a rookie. All this adds up to a strong case for her potentially winning the Rookie of the Year award, something she might not even realize is within her reach. 8. Weakness of Fever. Even with their win over the Mercury, Coach Christy Sides has some work to do. She's been advised to tighten up the Fever's defense to make sure they do not lose their significant lead in future games. A strong defense is key to maintaining that over 20-point advantage.
Copper, the switch on to Dantes. Off balance, Clark. Copper.
Additionally, Christie is encouraged to develop more players like Clark and Mitchell. This way, the team will have a deeper bench and will not have to rely so heavily on just a couple of players, which could help them achieve even better results overall. So, what are your thoughts on Clark's game against Taurasi? Who do you think deserves the Rookie of the Year award? Angela Reese or Caitlyn Clark? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you made it this far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up, share the video, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching.